Hi, Kristine. Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you?
Hi, good morning. I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing so good. It's such a nice, beautiful, hot day already. I think it's only 10 a.m. over here in Florida. Oh my
Yeah, and
gosh.
it's
So today,
beautiful and sunny.
yeah, I mean, it's been hot. It's been hot. I don't know if our viewers are watching, but if you're here in Florida, Northeast Florida, you know how hot it is. And I think we even had weather advisories. So without further ado, we got Kristine Kennedy here. She's from Success Mortgage Partners. Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you, Kristine?
It's so wonderful. Yeah, and we have the beaches and the river, so we have ways of cooling off.
We do. Yeah. Have you been to the beach this year?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I like to. That's where I like to do sunrise. It's the
Oh,
sunrise in the morning. That's the way. That's Jacksonville. We have beaches.
yeah, I haven't done the beach this year yet, so but we do the pool in the backyard.
Same thing. Yeah, cool off with the kids.
Yeah. So Kristine, today I've invited you to be on here on the show so we could learn a little bit more about the Hometown Heroes housing program. So can you just tell us a little bit about what it is, how it started, what it is?
Hometown Heroes for all of our frontline workers, $25,000 that they can get, or they can get 5% for their down payment and closing costs. So it's wonderful. It will help people get into the game. They want to buy a house, right? They want to buy, but their problem is they don't have the cash. They don't have a down payment. They don't have closing costs. They need help. This is the answer. This is the solution. And it's great. Our state is, heading it up, and it's beautiful. We're going to help a lot of people with the dream of home ownership because they can get 25, $1,000 or 5%. So could be a lot.
That's a lot of money. Is that only here in Florida or is that everywhere in the country?
Only Florida.
Okay.
They have to be coming to Florida. They have to be moving or here in Florida, and they have to be able to permanently reside in Florida and working here. But they can be coming in the next 60 days.
So like,
So
because we work with a lot of military families that are coming into the area. So this program would work for them then. They don't have to actually live here in Jacksonville or in
no, they can
Florida.
have their orders. Is they're closing in the next 60 days, then really. So if you help them find a house in 30 days and they're going to be here in 90 days, really, those are the people
Man,
that
that's
it
awesome.
would be. So as long as their orders are here within the next 60 days or their new job, they can be starting a new job, not necessarily in the military, but starting a new job in 60 days. And we'll be able to use it to help them for their, again, down payment, closing cost, upfront funding fee, just keep stacking the money on a VA loan. There's no down payment. So this will help them with their closing cost, which is
Wow.
a big deal because some people want to buy, but they don't have the 3 or 4% that they need for closing costs.
Yeah, exactly. Now, is
Mhm.
this only for the VA loan or is this like conventional FHA, USDA?
Every single product, all of them. So we can do, depend, everybody's going to be different. They might want, whatever. So VA is no money down. FHA is 3.5% down. And then conventional, we can do 3% down. So they would get all their down payment on any of the programs.
Wow.
Mhm.
Now, the money this 25,000, that 5% that you're talking about, is that like a gift or is that free money? Is that a bond or is that like a second loan? What is that?
All the above, kind of. It's through the state of Florida. It's going to be a second mortgage. So
Okay.
it's going to be recorded, but it's 0%. So they're not going to pay for it. There's no charges upfront. There's no charges monthly. But at the end, when they go to sell the home or they refinance or they transfer the deed, they're going to move out of this home into a new property, then that money would become due. So
Gotcha.
it's wonderful. I mean, it's free in the sense of it's 0%. They're not, and there's not a monthly payment. There's other state of Florida programs, that we've had. We've had the 7,500 through the state. We've had the 10,000. We've had the 15,000. So now this one is 25,000. So it's the most that the state is issued. And the other ones have required a repayment. You might repay it back. This one you don't repay back monthly. So we're not adding to their monthly budget. We're just adding to the end when
Yeah.
they go, which will be for some people, it will be for a lot, but it won't be for everybody.
Yeah.
Some people will not want the ending, the second. And then other people are going to say, this is the way they're going to get into the game.
Yeah.
This is going to get them into the home that they're going to, be in for 3 or 5 years, and then they'll figure it out later.
Is there anything that they need to do in order to qualify for this program, or is it just being a hero, or is there anything else that's required to get involved?
Well, so when we say hero, the state has there's 50 different occupations. So it's really a lot. Law enforcement officer, of course, firefighters, public safety communicator, any kind of educator, licensed childcare operator. It just keeps going. Any kind of medical assistant, any kind of physician, any kind of nursing, anybody that's licensed in that, a nutrition counselor, athletic trainer, right? It's all the front, anything that you need a certification for. Dental hygienist, a midwife, like how great is that? So it's a lot of people that it's not just, it's just not what we think of, just the front line. It's everything that goes on, licensed nutrition, hearing aid specialist, optician. So it's really a lot of people that this will be a massage therapist. So they have to be, so they have to be licensed and they have to be currently working full-time in their fields. Okay. So when we go to register the money with the state of Florida, when we go to reserve it for them, we'll have to attach an attestation from them stating that they're currently in the field. And then we have to verify with their employer that they're full-time. So this is not for somebody who's not in their field. This is for somebody who's working full-time, helping out, our lives. And then we're giving back to them through the state.
Gotcha. That's good to know. So it's not like a veteran type situation where you did this in the past. You have to actually be working in the field while you apply for this loan for this program. Is that correct? Or could you have worked in the past as a massage therapist or a midwife?
The veterans, they count in the active duty. They're all considered.
Okay.
Right? And the cool part, so this is a first-time homebuyer program. So this is to help the first-time homebuyers. But for our active duty and our veterans and their spouses, they do not have to be a first-time homebuyer. So they could currently own a home and be coming here or be moving here, and they can qualify for this program. So it's first-time homebuyers for everybody but our military. And they get to be a second or a third or a fourth time buying.
And we get that question a lot about hey, what's considered a first-time home buyer? Is there a specific phrase for or a length of time for that? Or is it just your first house and if you buy a second house, you're considered a first-time home buyer?
This is based on the IRS's guidelines. Okay. So you have not lived in nor occupied a primary residence in 3 years.
Gotcha.
Meaning you could own a home right now, but it'd be a rental property. If it's not your primary residence, you're considered a first-time home buyer. If you had another home and you sold it 3.5 years ago, then you qualify as a first-time home buyer.
That's super cool. And then you're saying that 3-year restriction that right there is not applicable to veterans in active duty?
They're exempt from that.
That's cool. That makes sense, right? Because they're PCS from place to place. And you're like, man, I can't just not live somewhere for 3 years or not own it kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Oh, man. So with this program, you're saying the second, so the actual program or the 25,000, the 5%, it's a different loan. It just kind of sits in the back. It doesn't really have anything until you record or transfer the deed, until you transfer the deed or sell it or somehow. Mm-hmm. Now the loan product itself, like the VA or the FHA, is it an actual different type of loan, or is the interest rates different for this? Or if I was going to go VA loan and then do VA loan with the Home Times Heroes program, is my interest rate different at all?
Possibly. Oh. It's So it depends on what kind of loan we do. For what they're marketing, when you go in to actually register for the VA, it's not any additional money. VA and FHA, if we're getting a new loan, one of those, it's not an additional higher rate. If we're going to combine it with a conventional, then it's going to be a higher rate. And then it depends on where your credit score is and where your debt ratio is. So each file is going to be specific to the borrower. What I would say, if they're interested in buying a home, let's schedule a conversation. What is your file? You want to do a VA loan. It's no money down. Do you have the money for your closing costs? Do you need a little bit of help? Let's look at this option, right? It's definitely another option. It's another way to be able to say, yes, we can help you. Yes, we can get you into this home. let's try. And then we just look, but side by side yesterday, it was not higher in rate. Interest rates do change every day, but as of yesterday, the VA and FHA were actually a little bit lower than market rate. So that would be wonderful. It's designed to be at market or lower, and the closing costs are designed to be at market or lower. So it's not going to be higher. There's not a negative. There's not additional closing cost. It's just if depending on what debt ratio and what credit score, the interest rate might be a little bit higher.
Yeah, because sometimes you hear about these these different housing programs or these first-time home buyer programs. Like, yeah, you can do this extra money, but it's going to come at the cost of a higher interest rate or something like that. So it's good to know. So if somebody's watching the video and they're like looking into it, so don't get scared about, oh my gosh, I get this money that's free right now, but it's going to cost me upfront. So that's really good. So the state really is trying to take care of folks and get them into
there's not an addition. There's in the past, we would with the other programs, they would charge money upfront. You wouldn't net the full money because there was additional closing costs. So you wouldn't net the full money. And this one, there's not additional closing costs. So they're designing it where you're going to net that the 5% or the 25,000. They want all the money to go to the hometown hero and not, the mortgage company or the originator's pocket. They want it to go directly to the hometown hero. They're very specific in their guidelines. So it's great.
That's super cool. For the program itself, so we talked about kind of getting qualified, and you're going to have that conversation with them. Is there any type of first-time home buyer program education required? I know that some of the other programs require that. I don't know.
They do. Okay. Anytime you're going to get state assistance, it's an online class. It used to be in person. They used to have to go and sit in a class for 8 hours, but with all the changes in our world, everything's online now. So it's an online class. They take a link. It takes, 5, 6, 7 hours. I mean, it was designed the old fashioned way of going to a class and sitting in a classroom on a Saturday for 8 hours. So that's what it's designed after, but it's really wonderful. It teaches them everything that they would want to know. It's a positive, it's all the things. You're buying a home, you have electric, your property taxes, your homeowner's insurance. It's all of the education that a first-time home buyer really should know, because we know they don't necessarily teach it in high school. They don't necessarily teach it in college. If your parents never owned a home, you won't know necessarily the things that you need to know, like homeowner's insurance, mortgage insurance. How does that work? All of the things. It's really great. So it's online. They can take it at their convenience. As of a couple of days ago, it's $0. Like back in the day, they charged you $75 for this program. It's $0. So it's their time, but it's education, and education is always value. They're going to pick up something and, say, wow, that was a really great class. I'm glad I did it. And the class has to be the borrower and the spouse, which is wonderful, right? They're on the same page. Yeah. They're like, okay, remember they told us property taxes are going to become due in November. Remember that, so those are the things where they'll be together. The spouses will be on the same page.
That's too cool.
Mm-hmm. And the credit score, let's talk about credit score.
Yeah.
640, which is really wonderful. That's going to open it up to most everybody, right? Mm-hmm. And at 640, we can spend 45% of their income on the house. They have a 680, we can spend up to 50. So 50% of their income can go to the qualification of a new house.
Regardless of the loan type?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good gig.
Mm-hmm. Now, if it's somebody, we can help people down to a 580. So, if they have a lower credit score, we can still help them. We just won't put them into this program. We would put them into a different program. And then, of course, if somebody needs this program, this is the solution to getting them in the game. Then if we have to, we'll give them credit advice, right? Like, here's your go open a credit card or pay down your credit card or certain different things. We'll start with, credit advice. If the problem is credit, then we'll go down credit. If the problem is need cash, then we'll go to this program. So it depends on who's on the phone with us, who's in front of us, to which advice and which program would be better for them.
Yeah. Yeah, because not this, it's not blanket advice, right? It's like everybody's got a different journey, and so it was just going to help them along their journey and how we get them to a home.
Everybody's going to be different. I would
Yeah.
just encourage people to, if you want to have the dream of home ownership this year, if this is your year, then pick up the phone, call an expert, right? And just say, I don't really know where to start, but I thought I'd make you my first phone call. Just pick up the phone, talk to an expert, talk to somebody that can give you advice. And, a lot of people don't know their credit score. A lot of people do with this whole credit karma thing, but a lot of people don't know their credit score. And this program, this 25,000, your income limit is 100. You can make up to 118,950. So they would think, oh, I probably make too much money. I wouldn't qualify. 118,950 is a lot of people that will be able to qualify, and they're not going to make too much money.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because is there a amount of house they can buy that qualifies for this? Can they go and buy a $500,000 house and be good to go?
So FHA is going to have the limit, the state limit, the county limit actually of 432,400. So okay. 432,000. But our military, our VA and our conventional, the limit right now is what, 647,200?
Yeah.
So I think you can find them a house for that. I just think.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, and then a lot of this information, I think, is on their website too, where they can just look at the county, look at their income limits per county, and then kind of go from there.
But if we have somebody wanting to buy, a house under 647, they make, less than 118, they have a 640 credit score. It's the basic guidelines. I mean, that's a lot of people that this is going to open up to where that will be able to help them.
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is there anything else that we should know about the loan, this program? Because I think those are pretty much all the questions I think I have today.
Yeah, I would encourage surviving spouses from military. They count. They are eligible for this. So the surviving spouses, we want to think about them too. We want to honor them. So if there's a surviving spouse out there, I would say, maybe this is the year, let's get you a new start. I think I covered all my notes. We have to occupy the home within 60 days. Primary residence, new primary. Cannot be a new investment. It has to be a new primary.
Gotcha. No, that's good. That's a good question because can't come in here out of state trying to buy an investment property. It's a primary residence type. Yeah.
And the primary residence and the income and everything is based on what you put on the application, which is super easy. We don't need 3 years of your tax returns anymore. We don't need all that. We just use, what you put on the application, that it's for your residency as well as your income.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So it's very easy. This is, of all the programs we've ever done for the state, they really took out all the negatives and just only the positives and made it super simple. Everybody should qualify, or everybody should at least have the option. And it's really great. If they're working in the field and they have a license and they're full time, then let's try.
That's awesome. And so, Kristine, if somebody wants to get a hold of you and say, hey, I think I meet all those wickets. I got the credit score. I make the income limits. I've been inside one of these 50 occupations. Like, let's do this. I want to get into a home this year. How do they get a hold of you?
My phone number, if they want phone, is area code 904-514-6969. But my website, everybody loves websites. It's my name. It's KristineKennedy.com. And there's all kind of information on there. And there's an apply button and there's a contact button. And it's, everybody wants to start in a different way because we help people all over the country and they're in different time zones. And some people want to start on the internet and then other people want a phone call. And then of course we're at work. So they can swing by. We're in Jacksonville.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And they do come to, they liked it. I had somebody yesterday, like, I want to come in and meet with you. Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just a little easier to talk money face to face, and just pull up with a computer or just like, let's just hash it out here. So, yeah.
But I would just say anybody that has questions and they just want to just see where their file is and they want to get started and they want to buy, now, or they want to set the plan for 6 months or a year. Let's go ahead. Like, if you're coming here, you're going to be stationed in Jacksonville. Let's try. Let's see. And then start the file. And then we have time to move and shift and change and add and really make it perfect for them,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much. This has been super
Thank you for your
informational.
time.
This has been awesome. I know we're going to be helping a lot of people out. At least hopefully we can get somebody in there that didn't know about the program and help out with their closing costs and their down payment assistance. So thank you so much again, everybody. We're here with Kristine Kennedy from Success Mortgage Partners. She's awesome. So if you have any questions, please feel free to call her at her number or visit her at her website, www.kristinekennedy.com. Thank you so much once again. And
Thank you.
have a great rest of your day.
Bye, guys. Have a great day.
Bye.